Thank you for joining me for this demonstration of our new solution, ProPunch. Acroprint ProPunch is a web-based software solution that installs on your network and allows you to manage your employees' time and attendance via a web browser. Once ProPunch is installed and activated, employees can clock in and out using a web browser from any device connected to the internet. There's no need to install any additional client software. Companies that prefer using badge or biometric verification can optionally have employees clock in and out using a time clock. Today, I'm going to show you an overview of the solution. There are 3 account types within the system: employee, supervisor, and administrator. First, we will take a look at the user interface for the employee and supervisor account types before moving on to the administrator. I have logged in as our employee, Allison. Upon logging in, Allison's current timesheet will be displayed. Here, she can clock in, clock out, or transfer between different departments or locations. I am going to clock her out. We now see that the punch was captured in real time. If we see a red question mark displayed on the timesheet, that means she has missed a punch. In this situation, she can leave a note for her supervisor and they can fix her time. Now when her manager goes in and sees that there is a missing punch, they'll see Allison's note and can correct it for her without having to track her down. We see the note has been saved because the page icon has updated. By hovering over this My Account icon on the left side of her screen, Allison can view previous timesheets, and she can determine a date range by choosing these arrows next to this date box, or by clicking on the calendar icon itself. She can also view her time off balances. Here we see the time off type, her starting balance, what she has used for the year, and the remaining hours. She can also change her password. I will now log in as our manager, Jason. As the supervisor and manager, Jason has a few more menu options than the employee. He still has My Account, giving him all of the same options that we just saw in Allison's account. He also has My Employees, which expands to manage time, reports, and help. I will be going over these menu options more thoroughly in the administrator portion of the demo. Upon logging in, the supervisor will see this dashboard screen, which includes an in-out board, a missed punch notification, and any open tasks that he might have. All of these items are right at his fingertips. This dashboard is available in the supervisor and administrator account types only. Let's look at the in and out board really fast. We see a quick glance of who is currently clocked in or out. You can address any missed punches by clicking directly on this notification box and immediately be taken to any timesheet in question. By clicking on the red number, it will take him directly to the timesheet that needs addressing. We see it is Allison's timesheet. We see her missing punch and that she has left a note based on the double page icon. To view the note, simply click on it. We now know what time Allison left and can edit her timesheet with that information. The timesheet has now been saved with my changes. Now I'm going to log in as our administrator. I am now logged in as Kim, the administrator for the company. I want to go over the company setup menu first. I'm going to start by going over the setup checklist. When you immediately install the software and pull it up for the first time, required tasks will immediately show up on your home screen. We see that Kim has completed all of the required tasks because they are listed as 100% complete and there is a time and date stamp. The optional setup tasks are below. All of these here, if we expand the menu, are listed in this pull-out menu. I'm going to go over them, starting with general settings. This is where all of the company information is stored and where basic settings for your time and date preferences are set. Your time zone is also set here. This is also where you would enable the Web Punch feature. Next is pay period. This is where you would specify when your employees get paid. Pay calculations is where you would define settings that would apply to employees on a broad level. For instance, rounding rules, holiday pay, lunches and breaks, and overtime rules. Holidays. All of the holidays observed by your company would be listed here. Worker code prompts allow you to enable individual cost centers or buckets used to track the allocation of time. Depending on your needs, you can have 3 main categories and then unlimited subcategories within each one. You would define them as you wish, and you can have them prompt on punch. Here we see we have a location cost center with 3 locations and a department cost center with 4 departments. Next is pay categories. Pay categories define pay buckets that correspond to labor codes. Here we see the codes correspond with time, regular, overtime, double time, time off, holiday, sick, vacation, and extra pay, tips, commission, and bonuses. Here is where you would define the benefit profiles for your employee. Here we have a profile for full-time employees and part-time employees. Here is where you would define shifts in your company. I'm going to open one of the shifts to show you how you can make edits and define rules. The rules in this shift complement the rules that are defined in the pay calculations. For instance, a set of employees might require different rules that vary from the global settings established in a pay calculation. They would be assigned a shift that reflects that. Based on your payroll provider, you are able to create a customized template that will be directly exportable to them. This screen contains attributes that can be assigned to a user that are relatively static, for example, region or division. This is where you would add your terminal to your account. To add the terminal to your account, you would click on this plus icon. On the actual clock, you will add the IP address of the computer where you have installed ProPunch. You'll name the clock, and then the serial number will show up here. We now see the terminal, and the clock is connected based on this green dot in the status column. If I click on the employees icon next to the clock, it will list all of those employees that are assigned to this terminal. Removing the checks from the box next to their name will unassign them to this specific terminal. Next, we'll go on to employee setup. Here is where you have access to all of the employees in the system. By clicking on the icon next to their name, it will pull up their employee profile. This is the screen that shows all of the employee information and where their profiles and work codes are established. Employee setup is also where you would go to add a new hire. Here, you would define the account type for the new hire: employee, supervisor, or administrator. For the employee account type, there is an editing option checkbox that can be enabled to allow them to edit their own personal time. The same is also in place for the supervisor and if you want them to be allowed to edit other employees' time. The administrator has full access, so neither of those boxes require enable. Now let's go to manage time. Here we have all of the employees that the user has access to. As the administrator, Kim has access to all of the company employees. You'll remember Jason also had a manage time menu option. Only those employees assigned to him would show up if we were in his account. In this screen, you are able to look at past pay periods by clicking on the double arrows to either side of the date range. You can also choose the calendar range. Clicking on the icon next to the employee's name will display their timesheet on the right. To add a new entry, you can click on the hyperlinked date. And you can also add notes. Once you've determined that all of your timesheets are ready for payroll, you can select one of them or all of them. And now we see the icons at the bottom of the screen are active. From here, you can reject the timesheets, add time, recalculate, approve, or print. I'll show you what that would look like now. You're given some options of what you would want to include in your print off. And the last icon is export to payroll, which I am going to click on now. This brings you to a pay prep checklist that you'll go through to make sure everything is ready for the export. First, you'll reapply pay calculations, then process the timesheets, review the results. If any errors have fallen through the cracks, those will be displayed here. And if so, clicking on the timesheet listed will bring you directly to the ones needing attention. The next link is export the payroll file. And lastly, you'll lock the pay period. Doing so means you have completed the export and no further modifications can be made. Below, we see a list of the employees that have been selected within this export. Now, let's go over reports. Starting with the summary report. This gives you an overview of the employee's hours by day and breaks it down into pay categories. I want to mention the filter at the top of the page, which allows you to choose your date range or pay period. This report can also be customized further, and you can add more information by choosing different columns by clicking on Tools and Change View. Here on the left, we see the available columns, and what is currently being displayed is here on the right. To add a column, you choose it and just move it over. We now see the employee type column has been added to the report. You can also export the report to Excel if needed. Now I'll go over the early late report. This report gives you an overview of each employee's shift and if they punched early or late. You can go to their timesheet directly from this screen. See a late start. Go to their timesheet. And that way, if you need to investigate further, it will take you exactly where you need to go. I want to mention at the top of the report, you can choose any specific employees that you might want to look at or any work codes and apply the filter. Now, the last thing I want to go over is this help icon. About ProPunch, this is where you're given information about your software, including the version you are currently running, your install key, and serial number. It also tells you when your license expires. Here is where you would go if you need support. Unlimited support and software updates are free with ProPunch software. You would just go to this icon, fill out this form, and our support team will get back to you within 1 business day. There is also this question mark icon at the top corner of every page, and that can also provide answers for any questions that you might have. If you have any questions or would like to place an order, please contact us by phone at 919-872-5800. You can email us sales@acroprint.com or visit our website at www.acroprint.com/products/ProPunch-suite. Thank you so much for your time today. This concludes our demonstration.